In Nigeria's political space, few topics are as sensitive as the intersection between security and democracy. And this latest exchange, sparked by comments around suspending political activities in parts of northern Nigeria, sits right at that fault line. On one side, we have worsening insecurity, insurgency, banditry, rural attacks, and overstretched security forces. On the other side, we have constitutional democracy, political participation, and the fundamental right of citizens to vote, campaign, and engage in governance. And now, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has stepped into this debate with a strong warning that suspending political activities, even temporarily, could set a dangerous precedent for democracy itself. Here is the report in detail. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has warned against any proposal to suspend political campaigns in parts of northern Nigeria, saying such a move could violate constitutional rights and heighten concerns about voter exclusion amid rising insecurity. His comments come after reports that the Senate is considering halting political activities in 8 states affected by increasing violence, including Borno, Benue, and Plateau. In a statement released on Sunday by his senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, Atiku described the idea as deeply concerning, stressing that although insecurity remains a serious national issue, it should not be used as justification to limit democratic engagement. In his words, let it be clearly stated that the right to vote and take part in the electoral process is fundamental and must not be restricted under any circumstance. Any effort, whether intentional or subtle, to suppress political activities in northern Nigeria raises valid fears of disenfranchisement. Atiku pointed to earlier intelligence reports suggesting possible attempts to weaken voter participation in key northern states, warning that recent developments appear to confirm those fears. This is not just about campaigning, it concerns representation, inclusion, and the credibility of our democratic system. Insecurity cannot be addressed by silencing citizens. Democracy should not suffer because of governance failures, he said. He emphasized that Nigerians in the north deserve both adequate security and full participation in the democratic process, adding that one should not be sacrificed for the other. Atiku further noted that it is the government's duty to ensure safety while also protecting citizens' rights to express themselves freely without intimidation. At a time when people are already facing economic hardship and insecurity, the least the government can do is protect their right to be heard, not restrict it. Any action that suggests exclusion will only increase mistrust and deepen national divisions, he warned. He also urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, security agencies, and President Bola Tinubu's administration to clarify their stance and assure Nigerians that no region will be deprived of its constitutional rights. Now, my people, let us break this gist down so we understand it. First of all, let us look at Atiku's central argument. Democracy is not optional. Atiku's position is fundamentally anchored in one idea. Political rights are constitutional, not conditional. In his view, even in the face of insecurity, the state cannot begin to selectively suspend democratic participation because 1. It risks disenfranchising citizens. 2. It creates unequal citizenship across regions. 3. It may be abused politically in the future. 4. It weakens trust in democratic institutions. This is a very important constitutional argument. In a democracy like Nigeria, rights such as voting, political assembly, campaigning, free expression are not supposed to be switched on and off based on security conditions alone. If that begins to happen, the fear is that emergency security measures could slowly become political tools. Atiku is essentially warning, once you normalize suspending political participations in one region, it becomes easier to justify it elsewhere in the future. Let us look at the aspect of security reality, which is the argument the Senate is responding to. Now, let's be fair. The insecurity argument is not coming from nowhere. Parts of northern Nigeria are genuinely facing conditions where 1. Communities are attacked unpredictably. 2. Roads are unsafe for political movements. 3. Campaign events can be targeted. 4. Mass gathering carries security risk. 5. Even voter registration exercises have been disrupted in the past. So when a senator suggests suspending political activities, the underlying concerns is: how do you conduct free and fair elections in a war zone? This is not just theoretical. Nigeria has previously experienced elections postponed due to insecurity, displaced populations unable to vote, reduced turnout in conflict areas. So the idea being floated is not necessarily anti-democratic in intent. It is often framed as damage control, but intention and consequences are not always the same thing. Let us look at the dangerous tension: security versus rights. This is where the heart of the issue lies. Every democracy facing insecurity eventually hits this dilemma. Do you restrict civic activity to maintain order, or do you preserve civic freedom even under threat? Atiku's warning leans heavily towards the second option, but security hawks often argue the first. The problem is, both positions contain a truth, but both also carry risk. If you prioritize security too heavily, democracy becomes limited. Citizens lose equal participation. Some regions feel abandoned politically. If you prioritize political freedom without adjustments, lives may be endangered. Electoral processes may become unsafe or disrupted. So the real question is not which side is right. It is, how does a fragile democracy balance both without collapsing either? If you look at it from the aspect of the government's responsibility dilemma, Atiku also indirectly highlights something crucial. Security is the responsibility of government, not citizens. If security becomes the reason to restrict political rights, then it raises uncomfortable questions. Is the state failing its primary duty? Should citizens pay the price for insecurity through reduced rights? This is where democratic accountability becomes central, because in a functioning democracy, insecurity should trigger stronger security response, better governance, institutional reform, not reduced political participation. Now let us reflect on this issue. This controversy is not just about Atiku versus the Senate or opposition versus government. It represents something deeper. Nigeria is at a crossroad between maintaining full democratic participation and adapting democracy to security realities. And the danger is that in trying to solve insecurity, the country might unintentionally weaken the democratic system it is trying to protect. Now, over to you, Gist Angle family. If security concerns ever make it necessary to suspend political activities in some parts of Nigeria, where do we draw the line between protecting lives and protecting democracy? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments.
It's just Angle.